Folks, hearing that your personal information has been swiped in a data breach is a punch to the gut. It's a terrible feeling, knowing some crook might have your name, social security number, or bank details. The stress is real, and it can feel overwhelming. You might feel angry, vulnerable, and scared all at once. That's a normal reaction, but you cannot let that fear paralyze you. It's time to get mad, and then it's time to get busy. You have to take control of this situation, and you have to do it now. The worst thing you can do is stick your head in the sand and hope it all goes away. These identity thieves are banking on you being slow to react. They want you to be confused and unsure what to do next, but you're not going to let them win, are you? No, sir. Immediate action is your best defense. It's about protecting what's yours and showing these crooks they messed with the wrong person. This isn't just about money, it's about your peace of mind and your financial future. Think of it like this. If a burglar broke into your house, you wouldn't just sit there and watch them, would you? It's time to take back control, starting right now. Alright, first things first, we need to lock down your digital doors. Your online accounts are ground zero after a data breach. The very first step is to change your passwords, and I don't mean changing password 123 to password 124. You need strong, unique passwords for every single important account. A strong password is long, at least 12 characters, and uses a mix of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Don't try to remember all these complex passwords yourself. Get a good password manager. Using a password manager means you only have to remember one master password, and it does the heavy lifting for all the others. Make that master password incredibly strong and never ever share it. Next up is two-factor authentication, or 2FA. Enable 2FA on every single account that offers it, especially your financial accounts and your primary email. Even if a crook gets your password, they still can't get in without that second factor. Authenticator apps are generally more secure than SMS text messages for receiving codes. Taking these steps will make it significantly harder for criminals to access your accounts. Once you've changed your passwords and enabled two-factor authentication, your next job is to become a financial detective. You need to monitor your accounts and credit reports like a hawk. Crooks who steal your information don't always use it immediately. Sometimes they wait weeks or even months, hoping you've let your guard down. Start with your bank accounts and credit card statements. Scrutinize every single transaction, no matter how small. Thieves often make small test charges to see if an account is active before making larger fraudulent purchases. Set up transaction alerts with your bank and credit card companies. Log into your online accounts regularly, daily for bank accounts, and at least weekly for credit cards. Look for any charges you don't recognize, any withdrawals you didn't make, or any new accounts opened in your name. Beyond your immediate bank and credit card accounts, you need to keep a close eye on your credit report. You are entitled to a free credit report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, every single year. After a data breach, you should pull these reports immediately, and then stagger them throughout the year. Early detection is key to minimizing the damage. Let's talk about fraud alerts and credit freezes. A fraud alert warns lenders to verify your identity before opening new credit. It adds a layer of caution to stop thieves. An initial fraud alert lasts 1 year and is free. Place it with one bureau, and they notify the others. Victims of identity theft can get a 7-year extended fraud alert. A credit freeze locks your credit report, preventing new credit. It's free and must be placed with each bureau. Lenders can't access your report, stopping new account fraud. Consider using these tools. They're your right and free. Section 5. Official business reporting identity theft to the authorities. If you discover that your identity has indeed been stolen and used fraudulently, you need to make it official. This means filing an identity theft report with the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, and in many cases with your local police department. Start with the FTC. You can file a report online at identitytheft.gov. The website will guide you through the process, asking for details about what happened. Once you complete the report, you'll get an FTC identity theft report. This document is incredibly important. After filing with the FTC, you should also consider filing a report with your local police department. Bring a copy of your FTC identity theft report, your driver's license, proof of your address, and any evidence you have of the identity theft. These official reports are your ammunition in the fight to restore your good name and your financial health. Section 6. Gearing up for battle. How to talk to credit card companies. A data breach can be a double whammy. Not only are you worried about new fraud, but existing debts can suddenly feel much more precarious. If you're already carrying credit card debt, this is a critical time to address it. You might be able to negotiate some relief directly with your credit card companies, but you need to be prepared. First, you need to understand your debt situation completely. For each credit card, know your outstanding balance, your interest rate, your APR, and your minimum monthly payment. If the data breach has caused you specific financial hardship, be ready to explain that connection. Before you even pick up the phone, prepare for the call. Write down what you want to achieve. Are you looking for a temporary reduction in your interest rate, a waiver of late fees, a more affordable payment plan? When you call, ask to speak to someone in their hardship department or a supervisor who has the authority to negotiate terms. Clearly and politely explain your situation. Your goal is to find a mutually agreeable solution that helps you get out of debt. Section 7. Cutting a deal. Smart ways to settle that debt. When you're talking to your credit card company about your existing debt, especially after the stress of a data breach, there are several potential solutions you can discuss. One common option is a hardship program. Many creditors offer these programs to customers facing temporary financial difficulties. A hardship program might involve temporarily lowering your interest rate, waiving certain fees, or agreeing to a modified payment schedule that reduces your monthly payment for a set period. Another possibility, if you have some cash available, is a lump sum settlement. This is where you offer to pay a portion of the debt in a single upfront payment, and in return, the creditor agrees to forgive the rest. If you go this route, always get the agreement in writing before you send any money. If you have multiple debts and are struggling to manage them all, a debt management plan through a reputable, nonprofit credit counseling agency might be a good option. With a DMP, you make one monthly payment to the credit counseling agency, and they distribute it to your creditors. Often the agency can negotiate lower interest rates and fees on your behalf. Be very careful to choose a legitimate, accredited, nonprofit credit counseling agency. Regardless of the solution you're pursuing, remember that negotiation is a two-way street. Your goal is to reach an agreement that helps you manage or eliminate your debt in a way that works for your budget. Section 8, the paper trail. Document everything. Folks, if there's one piece of advice that applies to every single step of dealing with a data breach and negotiating debt, it's this. Document everything. Create a paper trail so thick it could stop a runaway train. In any dispute or negotiation, the person with the best records often has the upper hand. Start a dedicated folder for all correspondence and documents. Take detailed notes during every phone call. Write down the date, time, name, and summary of the call. Note any promises or agreements made. Keep copies of all letters, emails, and online forms. Use certified mail for important documents. Get agreements in writing before taking action. This documentation is your evidence. If a company doesn't honor an agreement, your records will be crucial. Being organized shows you're serious and makes it harder for companies to give you the runaround. Section 9. The long-haul credit scores, scammers, and smart choices. Dealing with the aftermath of a data breach and negotiating debt is often not a quick fix. It's more like a marathon. It's important to understand the potential impact on your credit score. Fraudulent activity can certainly damage your credit if it's not caught and corrected quickly. That's why monitoring your credit reports and disputing errors is so vital. When you successfully dispute fraudulent accounts or information, they should be removed and your score should recover over time. Be patient but persistent with the credit bureaus to ensure corrections are made. Now, when it comes to negotiating existing legitimate debt, some solutions can also affect your credit. For example, if you settle a debt for less than the full amount owed, the creditor might report it to the credit bureaus as settled for less than full balance or paid settled. This notation can be viewed negatively by future lenders and may lower your credit score temporarily. However, having a settled debt is usually much better for your score in the long run than having an unpaid, delinquent account. Be wary of third-party debt settlement companies that make big promises about slashing your debt. A much safer route is to work with a reputable nonprofit credit counseling agency. Finally, the key to mastering your finances, especially after a scare like a data breach, is to be proactive, organized, and persistent.